land off Pershall Road, Stroke Hazel Road Lane, Stirchley, Birmingham. Proposed superstore, offices, shops, use class A1. Apartment, public spaces, highway alterations, including shops stopping up and part of Hazelwell Lane. Demolition of existing work, outline application with consideration of access and siting. Can we have updates?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. We've got a number of updates on this. I'll try and be as brief as possible, members. The Environment Agency have now withdrawn their objection subject to a condition regarding the scheme to be carried out in accordance with the flood risk assessment submitted. For consistency with the approach taken on other schemes, including the Tesco proposal later on this agenda, the applicant has requested that the required commitment towards a local training and employment scheme on the Section 106 agreement is dealt with through condition, and we've prepared a suitable condition as that. And we're also looking at rewording some of the conditions so that they're on a phased basis, just to take into account some of the comments made by the applicant. Mr Grosvenor, on behalf of the Lifford Business Association, has requested to speak. I'm just reporting his comments. They represent small businesses on Pershall Road. Their association is disappointed that the council has had to accept a different Section 106 agreement for Tesco, and is unconvinced that Tesco are unable to contribute further to help the existing community. They feel that the council have let them down, and the business improvement district should be supported on Pershall Road, as in other areas such as Northfield, Kingsheath and Sparkbrook. They reiterate that they actually support the planning application, but comment that they consider that they need to see Tesco joining the local community and not landing on it. Councillor Huxtable has prepared late comments as well. He supports the application, but is disappointed that the Section 106 agreement proposes only £150,000 worth of environmental improvements, and a larger store should contribute to the same amount as originally agreed on the previous Section 106 agreement. He therefore requests that the developer makes a voluntary contribution to be allocated to local centre management or business improvement district development. Steve McCabe MP has written in, he expresses broad support for the application. It would transform a derelict site and aid the wider regeneration of Stirchley, providing much needed jobs, highways improvements and the public plaza. He understands that not all members of the community are in support of certain aspects of the scheme, but believes it's an important element in terms of Stirchley's regeneration, and encourages members to put a positive decision. If I could just come back on some of the comments made by the Lifford Business Association. Just for members' information, the previous Section 106 agreement never provided any monies towards a business improvement district. Tesco have confirmed that they're supportive of a business improvement district in Stirchley. However, looking at our planning obligations, we consider that monies towards a business improvement district would not pass the SIL test for planning obligations, as Tesco is in a centre and delivers regeneration benefits for Stirchley. The proposal also delivers additional funds for highway improvements by the Section 278 agreement. We believe it's an uplift of around £300,000 on the previous approval. And also, as of Monday, there is an alternative source of funding from the Department for Communities and Local Government for up to £50,000 worth of loans to set up business improvement districts. Thank you.
Okay. Chairman, thank you. We have speakers. We were originally advised of Mr Grove, but I understand Mr Alexander is now going to speak. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being very patient. If you come to the table, please. Thank you. Okay, thank you. If you switch the microphone on, please. Thank you very much. You will have 3 minutes. Once you start to speak, I'll start the clock. Thank you.
As stated, I'm Mr Alexander, Vice Chair of the Lifford Business Association, which supports 4 local centres, of which Stirchley is one. The LBA is keen to stop the decline of the High Street, and we have been addressing this as an organisation for 2 years, culminating in the bid model presently being pursued to bring customers back to our High Streets on the Pershall Road. And that means tackling the problem of empty shops, as you'll see from photos supplied. Solution: we want a business improvement district just like our neighbours in Northfield and Kingsheath, and more recently Sower Road. With a bid, we can employ people to address issues that we all know the city cannot afford to do now or in the future. A bid is crucial for our survival. To get a bid, we obviously need funding. We are led to believe that the Birmingham City Council had negotiated Section 106 payment from Tesco's to assist our bid. Somehow that got changed in the wash. An outline planning application now states that the Section 106 drawdown is to be used for environmental enhancements. Why? How does environmental enhancements in the present climate, as put forward, regenerate the local centres along the Pershore Road? We were recently advised not to rock the boat. In our view, an unnecessary pressure was being brought to bear on the LBA and its 200 members to toe the line. Why and who stands to gain? Not the LBA and its 200 members, that's for sure. It may be good for the City Council and Tesco's, but it does nothing for the rest of the Pershore Road. The only argument we have received to date is that Tesco's are not obliged to offer Section 106 monies to bid developments and that the Council can't ask for it. Why is that? And that statement is in fact not totally correct. We even requested information on the dealings between the City Council and Tesco's under the Freedom of Information Act, only to be declined. Why? You have asked and actually got funding via Section 106 agreements for bid developments across the city, as you have for Soho Road and Sparkbrook, for example. A bid is crucial for our survival, as it is theirs. On further research, we have established that we would be getting a lot more from Tesco's than the amounts being presently offered under Section 106 from the sale of the council land sold to them for development. The LBA could, in fact, in the absence of a Section 106 agreement, look to source funding via the Sustainable Communities Act to support our bid development, which could see us demanding a levy of up to 8.5% from supermarkets in the area built over spring 2014. This would be more expensive and financially painful for Tesco's. Please stop negotiating for the benefit of the Council only and for expediency's sake. This is counterproductive to stemming the decline of the Pershore Road corridor as a whole. The enhancement ideas currently on the table will not generate a sustainable, vibrant high street that currently supports up to 1,800 jobs. Quite the contrary, but a business improvement district would. And we'd also like to mention I think it's community infrastructure levy, which is something that could also be sourced, which has not been mentioned or put on the table. That is my statement for our members of the LBA, and we thank the committee for listening to that, and hopefully something can be moved on from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Speaking in support of the application, Mr. Alsbury, please. Thank you. Good morning. The microphone is already switched on. If you're ready to go, once you start to speak, I'll start the clock.
Thank you. Today is a very important day indeed, both for Stirchley and the many people that are desperate to see it improved. This is a proposal that I've been advising on for more than 13 years, and in that time we've faced some significant challenges. But Tesco's commitment to Stirchley has never wavered, and in the last 18 months in particular, that commitment has begun to pay off. We've had a CPO made and confirmed, Tesco has agreed the acquisition of land needed from the co-op, and the proposals themselves have been refreshed and updated. A grant of planning permission today will enable the last few pieces of the jigsaw to fall into place. Importantly, Tesco will be able to conclude its negotiations with the Working Men's Club, who it intends to relocate to a refurbished and extended Tesco's premises, and to work up the details of the scheme, allowing it to get on and build it out. As you will know, either from first-hand experience or the officer's report, Stirchley is one of the city's weakest centres. It's been in decline for many years and is in very serious need of investment. This development will provide precisely the type of boost that the centre needs. Amongst the many benefits that it will bring are major physical change and a greatly enhanced public realm, jobs, more than 300 in total, with Tesco itself recruiting locally and focusing on getting long-term unemployed people back into work, drawing people back to Stirchley that are currently shopping further afield, creating a more sustainable pattern of development, the generation of spin-off trade for existing businesses in the centre, and the provision of much-needed parking facilities. All told, this will be a £50 million investment, an investment that we are confident will lever in further change and growth. The benefits to the wider centre are important and resonate with some of the points made by Mr. Alexander. This, we must remember, is an in-centre site. It's as good a location as you can get for enhancing vitality and viability. One final point. We've given very careful consideration to the nature of the planning obligations that Tesco can enter into in this particular instance. You know as well as I that there are statutory tests that obligations must pass. And on this occasion, the obligations described by your officers are as far as we are able to go. Unfortunately, this means that we are not able to make a financial contribution towards the setting up of the bid or the employment of a town centre manager. But as we have already indicated to Mr Alexander and Mr Grosvenor, Tesco would be happy to provide advice and guidance on the setting up of the bid and will be keen to be an active member when the superstore is open and trading. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Chairman, perhaps if I can just pick up just a couple of those points. I don't think I want to comment on any of the matters of detail of the scheme, but perhaps just address one or two of the points that were raised. I have to say that the City Council have not put pressure to bear on any parties in this. The Freedom of Information request hasn't been declined. There has been an answer that's sent out on that. The information was heavily redacted because that's the way that Freedom of Information works, and the information that was commercially confidential or reflected ongoing negotiations is by necessity redacted, and that is just part of the system. That's just to confirm as well that Mr Osby has also said that Tesco have also said that they are supportive of the bid and would be active within a bid should that come around, and that the officers aren't negotiating on behalf of Tesco on behalf of the council. We are trying to provide you with professional advice as to what we think is the best planning solution to this, and members will be aware that this has been ongoing for many years in terms of this site, and clearly there are a number of regeneration benefits that spin from this in terms of the movement of the community centre to the across the road, the bowls club and the working men's club and so on, and also considerable benefits in terms of people getting across from the river onto the street. The use of sill, I think members can disregard that at the moment. The sill regulations are still being worked through, charging mechanisms. It isn't yet in force, so Section 106 agreements are the appropriate way to deal with this. The total value of the package that is being offered with this development at the moment in terms of all the Section 278 monies and various other improvements that go with this is actually more than the original offer.
Director.
Thanks, Chairman. Just a couple of points to add to what Tico just said, really. We are sympathetic to the request to support the bid. I'm sure you're aware we are bids capital in Birmingham of the UK, and we are very keen to support them. However, when we look at projects like this, we have to look at the impact of that project. And Stirchley, as the development goes, is about actually regenerating Stirchley as a local centre. In cases where the supermarket has actually had an impact that's out of centre, we've been able to negotiate support for those local centres. In this case, we haven't, because it's actually the proposal regenerates the centre itself, and therefore it would be unreasonable to request that. We will continue to make a commitment to work with the Business Association on funding initiatives that have come out from government, but we do not think it's relevant to make it a requirement of this application, and we feel that the delivery of this project will help transform and regenerate Stirchley in its own right. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Peter?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think I've got two interests to make. First of all, that this is about Stirchley Working Men's Club, and I'm a member of Longbridge Working Men's Club. And this is about, from the other side, a Stirchley bid, and I'm a member of Northfield bid. So I know where both sides are coming from. More importantly, though, it was, I think you were with us actually, Mr. Chairman, over 9 years ago when we went down to visit this site with Rennie Spector in the chair, and we met Lynn Jones there, and she supported this, and that's why it was approved. Now we have Steve McCabe, and that mirrors the downturn in Stirchley over those years. In that it does seem to me that it's an area that is potentially dying. It's so sad, and I think this particular investment, bearing in mind we've been waiting so long for it, it should have gone ahead earlier. It's had all sorts of problems. A great deal of work has been done, not only by the officers but by Tesco's themselves. and we should support it wholeheartedly, I think, as a way of bringing back what I called it life, but vitality seems to be a better word, bringing back life to that particular area. It certainly needs it.
Thank you. Peter?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, can I concur with those views that actually this area has needed the supermarket for a long time. And obviously there was disputes between the rival supermarkets in relation to going forward. The High Court, I believe, has settled those, so we now know that this development could go forward. Clearly, the plans in terms of the community and the changes both to the social men's club and the indoor billiards, indoor bowls are beneficial to the area. I would concur with the officer's view that we can only do what's legal, and if it's been determined that the areas that are covered in the agreement are all that we can go forward to, I would encourage Tesco's and the embryonic bid to keep talking, because actually what they can do on paper, there may be some goodwill that they could do and do something in kind. A number of developments have had spaces within the shopping area which have been designated for other things, so perhaps that would be a way round actually getting a little contribution which actually isn't in cash in terms but would benefit the development of the bid.
Thank you. Okay. The recommendation approved subject to section 106 of the agreement. All those in favour? Any against? Any abstentions? That is approved.